kimwe FM twese hamwe birashoboka.
We got you updated. This is Radio Manzi News in English.
You are tuned to Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa and
Mans Prince.
The headlines. Over $1 million is to be invested in developing Kigali's stormwater management master plan. The Minister of Trade and Industry has said Rwanda plans to put more efforts in its trade with the economic community of the Central African states. Pope Francis has appointed 3 women to a previously all-male advisory committee that helped select bishops across the world. Welcome back. Now, news in detail. Over $1 million are to be invested in developing Kigali's stormwater management master plan, which is expected to be completed by 2024 in order to reduce floods in the city. The development was revealed as members of the Senate Committee on Economic Development and Finance were assessing urban informal settlement and urbanization issues in the city of Kigali. The Kigali Stormwater Master Plan outlines how the city will manage floods by improving the drainage system. Senator Juvenal Husi, the chairperson of Committee on Economic Development and Finance, said there is a need for a centralized drainage system to manage stormwater so it easily flows into water bodies without damages. Defense attaches have accredited Rwanda Defense Force on a number of aspects relating to regional security and operations of the Rwandan military. According to a statement by the military, this happened during a security briefing at the RDF headquarters in Kimihurura. The attaché's briefing was organized by the RDF International Military Cooperation Department and involved 17 defense attachés and associates representing their respective countries. They were briefed on RDF organization and operations, including Rwanda's engagements both in bilateral and multilateral settings, such as ongoing military operations in Mozambique and Central African Republic, and participation in peace support operations. The briefing also included a detailed viewpoint on internal and regional security dynamics, including recent developments in the Great Lakes region. The head of RDF's Department of International Military Cooperation, Major General Patrick Kadetwa, said that it was a very constructive and fruitful interaction aimed at enhancing Rwanda's ability to pursue its national interests and its defense priorities through effective cooperation and genuine partnerships. After the briefing, the defense attachés also visited Rwanda Military Hospital, where they toured different medical services, including Rwanda Cancer Center, among others.
Education partners have said training in school leadership will transform Rwanda's quality of education to the better. The observation was made during a closing ceremony of a 4-year program called Leading Teaching Learning Together program. The program was established in secondary schools from 14 districts. The program was established by the Flemish Association for Development Cooperation and Technical Assistance in partnership with MasterCard Foundation leaders in teaching initiative. The Belgian, together with Rwanda Education Board and University of Rwanda College of Education. The country program manager, Marianne Kingudu, said that the aim of the program was to strengthen the competence of key actors in education through improved continuous professional development support systems. Deputy head teacher at Groupe Scolaire Kabere, Kamonyi District, Françoise Mukagatete, said, this time teachers and students got fully involved in the learning process, and this has greatly improved their overall performance because students make efforts to pass.
Rwanda's Bisate and One and Only hotels have been named among Africa's best luxury hotels. The ranking was conducted by Travel and Leisure, a New York City-based magazine that ranks hotels, resorts, cities, islands, cruise ships, spas and airlines around the world. Wilderness Safaris Bisate Lodge is a luxurious base for tracking mountain gorillas in the cloud forest of the Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda. Bisate Lodge ranked first in continental rankings with 98.23% scores, leading the top 10 hotels and resorts. The hotel opened in September 2017 and was named one of the world's best new hotels in February of the following year, 2018. In addition to Bisate at the top spot, there is another Rwandan lodge, One and Only Nyungwe House, on number 3, where the highlights are tracking chimpanzees, bird watching and visiting a tea plantation. The hotel scored 96.36. One and Only Nyungwe House is located in southwest, just south of Lake Kivu on the Burundi border. The hotel is set amongst the rich tea plantations of Gisakura on the edge of the iconic Nyungwe National Park. The park itself covers approximately 1,020 kilometers square of rainforest, bamboo, grassland, swamps and bogs, and is one of the last mountain rainforest habitats on the planet. International.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
Pope Francis has appointed 3 women to a previously all-male advisory committee that helps select bishops across the world. The 2 nuns, Raffaella Petrini and Yvonne Reingold, and a lay woman, Maria Liazevino, are the first women to join the unit that guides the pontiff on suitable candidates for the ordained role. A World Boxing Council Championship belt belonging to former South African President Nelson Mandela has been stolen from a museum in Soweto, according to a statement from the police. American boxing legend Sugar Ray Leonard gave the belt to Nelson Mandela during one of his visits to South Africa. It was one of many items on display in the Nelson Mandela National Museum, a major tourist attraction for local and international travelers.
A gender test performed on a football player for the Zambia women's national team as a violation of her rights. Barbara Banda was disqualified from the ongoing African Women's Cup of Nations in Morocco after the test determined that her testosterone levels were too high to compete as a woman. The organization said sex verification procedures backed by global football body FIFA were stigmatizing, stereotyping, and discriminatory. The Confederation of African Football Rules compel national football associations to carry out gender tests. Human Rights called on FIFA to scrap the requirement, calling on outdated. Gender tests have especially affected African athletes. South African athlete Caster Semenya has been banned by athletics governing body from her preferred 800-meter distance. Last year, two Namibian teenagers, Christine Bomba and Beatrice Musilingi, were forced to step down from the 400-meter weeks before the Tokyo Olympics after they were informed of their elevated testosterone levels.
Tanzanian health authorities have issued an alert saying 3 people have died and 13 others admitted to health centers after a strange disease broke out in the country's southern region of Lindi. The chief medical officer in the Ministry of Health, Afelo Sichawe, says in a statement people should not panic as the government was working hard to detect it. Symptoms of the disease include fever, nose bleeding, headache, and body fatigue. The patients were tested and their samples showed negative for COVID-19, Ebola, and Marburg. The chief medical officer said the health ministry has formed a team of experts to investigate the disease. He added that other measures taken by the government include quarantining patients that are suspected to have been infected by the disease and contact tracing. Mali has suspended all new rotations of the United Nations peacekeeping mission in the country, including those already scheduled for national security reasons. The Foreign Ministry said in a statement that the suspension will last until a meeting is held to facilitate the coordination and regulation of the rotation of contingents. However, the statement assured the UN mission that Mali would work diligently to create a conducive environment to the lifting of this suspension of rotation, which is an essential step in enabling the deployed contingents to ensure the proper implementation of the mission's mandate.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
The Minister of Trade and Industry has said Rwanda plans to put more efforts in its trade with the economic community of the Central African states. Minister Beata Habyarimana said Rwanda is exporting far more than it imports in the bloc and has more economic opportunities. She made the remarks while interacting with senators, members of the Committee on Foreign Affairs, Cooperation and Security on the trade benefits that Rwanda gets from regional and continental organizations. According to data from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Rwanda's trade with other ECAS countries amounted to 171.9 billion Rwandan francs in 2021 from 88.2 billion in the previous year. This figure includes Rwanda's exports worth over 155.4 billion Rwandan francs to those countries and its imports from them worth over 16.4 billion Rwandan francs. The minister pointed out that Rwanda's products are liked in this region, including basic commodities such as milk and potatoes. ECAS is made up of 10 countries, namely Angola, Burundi, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Congo-Brazzaville, Democratic Republic of Congo, Gabon, Equatorial Guinea, Chad, and Sao Tome and Principe. Rwanda is a member to 4 economic entities, namely the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, the East African Community, EAC, ECAS, and the relatively new African Continental Free Trade Area, where trade is still in its nascent stage. So far, apart from ECAS, Rwanda's imports from other blocs, COMESA and East African Community, exceed its exports there, going by data from the ministry. The minister said ECAS is the bloc where they want to put more effort because Rwanda is a net exporter, as Rwanda exports more products and services than it imports there, and they need our products. Now, the Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Report. Today's trading session recorded its turnover of 24,955,000 Rwandan francs worth of bonds traded in 3 deals on the fixed income market and 4,312,500 Rwandan francs from 61,500 shares traded in 4 deals. Bank of Kigali closed the counter at 265 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded its turnover of 1,404,500 Rwandan francs from 5,300 shares traded in 1 deal. I&M Bank counter closed at 43 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded its turnover of 2,236,000 Rwandan francs from 52,000 shares traded in 2 deals. Bralirwa closed the counter at 160 Rwandan francs. The trading session recorded its turnover of 672,000 Rwandan francs from 4,200 shares traded in 1 deal. M10 Rwanda closed the counter at 177 Rwandan francs. Simerwa at 120 Rwandan francs. Equity Bank at 440 Rwandan francs. Kenya Commercial Bank at 370 Rwandan francs. National Media Group at 1,200 Rwandan francs. Uchumi Supermarket at 104 Rwandan francs. And RH Buffalo closed the counter at 526 as the market closed.
Current market review of today. The Kenyan shilling buying price was 8.5 Rwandan francs and selling price was 8.7 Rwandan francs. Tanzanian shilling buying price was 0.43 and selling price was 0.44 Rwandan francs. Ugandan shilling buying price was 0.26 Rwandan francs and selling price was 0.27 Rwandan francs. Burundian franc buying price was 0.49 Rwandan francs and selling price was 0.5 Rwandan francs. The US dollars buying price was 1,015 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,035 Rwandan francs. The British pound buying price was 1,204 Rwandan francs and the selling price was 1,228 Rwandan francs. The euro buying price was 1,018 Rwandan francs and selling price was 1,038 Rwandan francs.
And with that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.